guys, my name is Steph, and today I want to talk about a topic that is very close to my heart, but I also feel is the elephant in the room, and that is mental health. So many of us struggle with it privately, and it's a very heavy burden to carry all by ourselves. And it's hard to talk about, and it's awkward, and it's intimidating, and it makes us feel shy and lonely and weird. But the thing is, in reality, mental health is none of those things, and it is just as important to talk about mental health as it is physical health. Someone I know once told me that mental health is like cancer. It is a disease. It is beyond our control. And if someone has cancer, you would tell everybody in your family, you would tell your aunts, your uncles, your nieces, your nephews, your grandparents, you would tell everybody, oh my gosh, poor Jill has cancer. This is terrible. But if Jill has depression or any other type of mental health, you don't really tell those people. You don't have a big meeting and say, look everybody, I know this is really hard for you, but Jill is ill. Jill isn't well. Jill has depression. That doesn't happen, and that's ridiculous. Because just because someone is struggling physically doesn't mean they're not struggling mentally. But that is the way our society is, and that's okay. But I think it's time that we bring a little bit of light to the issue. And I want to do that by sharing my story. About a year and a half ago, I was diagnosed with depression. I always describe myself as very loud, charismatic, well, I try to be outgoing, obnoxious, very extroverted, loved hanging out with my friends, seeing my friends multiple times a day, going on adventures, doing all sorts of crazy stuff. And I slowly felt those qualities slipping away and my identity kind of crumbling. I wasn't that person anymore, and I didn't know what was wrong. And I was sad all the time, and I was angry, and I was frustrated, and I was furious, and I felt crazy, and I didn't know what was happening. Why do I feel like this? Nothing is wrong. There's nothing that should be stressing me out so much. What is wrong with me? Well, there wasn't really anything wrong with me, but there was something wrong with the chemicals in my brain. And that is what depression is. So I went to my doctor, and that is what she told me. She said, Stephanie, you have depression. And I went, oh, that makes sense. That sucks. That makes sense. And it felt great to be validated and to realize those crazy meltdowns weren't just, well, they were partly university student freakouts, but they were also warranted for. And there was a reason. And it's because I have depression. Still do. Still fighting, still struggling. It's still a time, it's still a journey. But I'm here and I'm fighting it. So about a year and a bit ago, I was diagnosed. She gave me some prescription drugs. I've been trying so many different kinds. That is a whole journey on itself. But the point is, I have been fighting. And in this contrast, depression can be compared to cancer with the way you fight it. Cancer, you can fight by going to chemotherapy, radiation, taking your drugs, just doing things that the doctor recommends or prescribes to you to help save your life. Cancer kills, and so does depression. Depression, you don't need chemotherapy or radiation, but you have the choice to take your drugs, to do the exercises, to do the meditating, to do whatever it is your doctor prescribes, to try and fight. Cancer is serious and it can kill. And so can depression if it is not treated properly. So, for the last year and a bit, I've been on different drugs. There's been many different side effects, and it has played with my mood a lot. And one of the hardest parts about being diagnosed was, I can't control the chemicals in my brain. But there are still some parts of my life that I can control. While I felt all these qualities that described me and who made up my identity were slipping away, at least I was getting validated, yes. But it still felt like I was losing control. I was watching the person I once was wash away in the shadows. So I decided I need control of something in my life. And that is when I decided to make my bed every day. That's crazy. I used to hate doing that. And now I wake up and I make my bed. And sometimes I wake up and getting ready and doing my day seems way too impossible. So I will make my bed and crawl right back in. And at least I know that I had control and made the choice to at least try and make my bed that day. And that's like 1% of control when I feel like 99% of my life is being taken away without my control. So that one little percent I could get, which was making my bed, it really helped. And part of losing control is lately I have a newfound anxiety and panic attack thing happening every once in a while, as in every day. I'll be sitting there watching videos or eating dinner, and suddenly I am hit with a tidal wave of emotions and crying and sobbing and hyperventilating and darkness and sobbing. Did I mention sobbing yet? And just freaking the hell out. And I feel like I'm never gonna stop crying. I go, this is it. I'm just gonna spend the next, hopefully at least 50 years of my life just crying. Just sitting in my room crying as the world turns on. And it's awful. It's really scary, but eventually it passes. But that is definitely another example of losing control. So that's great. It's a battle. It is definitely a battle. I wish I had answers to say, and this is what I've done to stop it and to hear it, and this is why I'm better. But I am not. I am the farthest thing from better, but I'm on the right track. And that is a huge thanks to my family and my friends and the people I love and the people who love me and who I surround myself with. They are absolutely amazing. And I guess one of the newfound struggles with mental illness and having depression and all these different things happening is you have a love for yourself because you have an identity. And like I said, it felt like my identity was being stripped away. And now I feel not myself and I feel lost, and it's kind of hard to love the same person you were before all of this happened, which, do your best to love yourself. It is so important. It is so important. And I'm not saying that because you need to love yourself before you can love someone else, but it's just so important to try and like yourself, tolerate yourself at least. But it can be so hard to tolerate yourself and to not expect other people to tolerate you less or love you less or to be less patient with you, or you may think you're a burden to those people. And trust me, if you love them, if they love you, if your relationship is as strong as you hope and think it is, and as it should be, you're not a burden. You're just their friend or sister or niece or granddaughter or girlfriend or student or patient or client, and you have an illness, and that doesn't make you a burden. That doesn't make you less fun. That doesn't make you anything. That doesn't make you anything less than what you are, because you are still a beautiful human who's struggling a battle. And guess what? While you feel like you're on a battlefield alone against this huge monster, you have millions and billions of people on your side and fighting the exact same battle as you are. We are not as alone as we think we are. It sounds awful and scary, and some days it's hard to understand myself, and I don't expect anybody else to understand me or what I'm going through, and it seems impossible, and this whole world is impossible. Showering seems impossible, putting on makeup seems impossible, driving to get a coffee seems impossible, getting out of bed seems impossible, but it is possible. You just gotta fight, and you just have to make the decision that yes, today I'm going to do my best, and I'm going to kick this mental illness's ass. You just have to be determined and try. And some days might be way easier to try than others. Some days you might be able to get out of your bed and run down the block and play with your friends and go party and have the time of your life. And the next day, not just because you're hungover, but the next day you might not be able to get out of bed and you might just want to lay there and sleep. And that's okay too. Whatever you need is okay, as long as it is helping you, benefiting you, and as long as you are honest with yourself and the people around you. If the people around you love you, they will understand. They will do their best to be on your side and be there for you. And if they can't understand and they're not on your side, then bye. It was great knowing you, but you don't fit into my life right now. And that is okay too. People who have been with you all along, if they want to leave now because you're struggling, hold the door open for them and give them a nice wave. Because you don't need people like that in your life. You really don't. It's bad enough that you're struggling to love yourself some days, that you don't need to worry about other people not loving you or not understanding you or not accepting you. But that does not go to say that you can just always bail on people or not explain to them what is wrong. At least tell them what is happening in your life so that they understand. Don't just ditch out on them. Don't just be a flake without reason. Flakes with reasons are way easier to forgive and love than someone who just always cancels and you don't know why. So make sure you're as good as a friend as you deserve, and you will find them. And you will be okay. Now remember, I am the absolute last person who knows what the hell she is doing. I'm just fighting my own battle and learning as I go and writing my own chapters. And maybe one day I'll have a full-on story about this. But for now, all I know is keep fighting. Remember that people love you. Love yourself. Take a deep breath. And forgive yourself. You don't need to give yourself a report card every day. Just do your best. If anything, make your bed. Have that control. That is all I have for today. I just wanted to share a little, very small snippet of my life and hopefully make you realize that you're not as alone as you feel. This sucks. Life sucks. But it's worth it. Thanks for watching, you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and remember to love yourself.